welcome to Comic Toy Reviews, and this is a review on Spider-Man from the first movie of the Sam Raimi trilogy, and this is an excellent action figure. Even all these years later, there's just something about this sculpt that looks so right. And no offense to the new costume redesign in the new Amazing Spider-Man movie, but when you look at something like this, based on the classic original suit, and then you look at the redesign, and in just my opinion, but you can't top the original design. And got to give a lot of credit to the first three films that they kept the design, even though it's a little tweaked, they kept all the details right, and they didn't go far away from that idea. And look at this action figure. Just the posing, even though when I get to the articulation, it's not as modern as what Toy Biz would make later on. Like, it don't have the ball hips here, and the upper body doesn't have like the in and out articulation that they would later use. So even though this is highly articulated, and it's not as articulated as what they did later on, is this figure just, it's fantastic. And years later, looking at it, it's still of better quality than most action figure companies on the market today. Just great posing. Just look at this. This is based on the first movie from that trilogy. The eyes here are silver-like, and the webbing is raised a bit, and it's not really black. It's sort of like a grayish. And what I really like here is the little textured detail in the blue area. It's, if you feel it, it's all sculpt detailing. Really nice. They do have a nice chest symbol on the back of that big spider. When you look at the design of this figure, there's no wasted detail. All the articulation works well, and they don't over-exaggerate the proportions of the body at all. It looks like this could be a highly trained gymnast or athlete in a costume like this in the real world. The head, it's up and down, but you can't turn it to the side. It has this neck thing that you could spin it side to side. Toy Biz would make it changes later on, but you can get some like nice leaning poses on it that looks really good. It's tough to describe, but even though it's not super articulated, just the way it leans, because you could turn the head sideways like that, that's what really makes it nice. And the shoulders here can go in or out, up or down, but it's not ball jointed because it has those cuts right above here. It's a little different than what they would use later on, but it has the double elbow, and right above the glove area, another hidden articulation point there. The wrist goes in or out, and just two fingers here for the Spider-Man pose. Same thing here. Upper body articulation, not too much in terms of getting good poses out of it, but you do get side to side. And the hips here are a little different than what they use later on. You get side to side, you get up and down, and you get the thigh cut here, which is a little different. And you get double knees. Articulation right at the boot area, which is hidden also. Really can't tell that it's there. The feet up and down, side to side, and toe articulation. Even though everyone talks about Marvel Legends, especially from Hasbro, when they had a lot of other lines, and especially their movie lines, I think those figures are still in a pretty good price range, that the demand for the movie stuff isn't as high as the Marvel Legends name brand. But I think some of the stuff they made for the movies is worth tracking down, and this is one of those figures. Overall, I guess what makes this action figure is just the body sculpt in terms of how they sculpted it, where it wasn't over exaggerated and it wasn't needless articulation. They gave you enough articulation to make it highly poseable, and it just works, is the final view on it. So that's my review on the character. Definitely would highly recommend it, and thanks for watching. A message to the designers of the new Spider-Man costume: you can't top the classic and the original. Not a chance.